Knock, knock.
Who's there, Smitty?
3 monsters.
3 monsters who, Smitty?
Breece Hall,
Kenneth Walker, Dameon
Pierce,
and Taysom Hill. 3 sleeping giants have been awoken. We're breaking down all of that, Taysom Hill and more, the Fantasy Football Show. It begins right now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap.
We've been waiting for this moment for some time. Can you tell? Can you tell? And the link in the description if you want to buy one of these bad boys. Click on the merch store. Go buy yourself a Breece's Pieces shirt. Go show your league mates what's up.
get Breece. Get Breece.
That's right, link in description. You're looking at 3 monsters right here. Breece Hall is going to continue to drop running back 1 numbers. He is arguably a top 6 to 10 running back go forward. You could say top 5 to 10 if you want. There's a little wiggle room. There's a lot of good running backs right now. A lot of people popping off. A lot of players are popping off right now. But Breece Hall has every bit the vibe we thought he'd have walking into week 6, 7, 8. He's only going to get better. They're only going to use him more. They siphoned off a couple touchdowns to Michael Carter. Imagine if this man had 3 touchdowns today. Breece Hall almost 30 points today in one of my leagues. Everybody's league scoring is a little different, but 97 yards on the ground. 1 tutty, should have been 2 or 3. More impressive are those receiving stats that he's continuously getting.
Oh, Michael Carter's going to be the PPR guy. You'll see, Smitty.
We heard that all offseason long. No. The answer is no. The answer is 2 receptions for 100 yards. That's only 50 yards a catch. Mixed with his 97 yards, he had 197 yards and a touchdown. He had 197 yards and a touchdown. This man, right here, Breece's Pieces, get on board. If you aren't on board, you're just a hater. Get on board. What can we expect moving forward? Well, take a look at these numbers right here. And I'm talking specifically about the attempts. 6, 7, 8, 17, 18. Dude's finally getting double-digit carries going forward. And 17 and 18 are some good numbers. You can hate if you want. You can feel like you missed the boat. A lot of people said,
They're the Jets are the Jets, Smitty. He'll never do it on the Jets.
Granted, Tua was out. Granted, Bridgewater got hurt. But the New York Football Jets beat the Miami Dolphins 40-17. I'm not saying the Jets are going to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're even going to the playoffs. But I do feel like they have the capability of moving the football down the field. They have the capability of being an exciting football team on any given Sunday. And this man, Breece Hall, is a big reason why. It's opening up things. It's stretching the field because the guy catches 50 yards a catch. Stretching the field, running the football. Even with his touchdowns being siphoned, Breece Hall season is here. He's a running back 1. Go forward. If you have him, sound off in the comments and let us know what you're working with. Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce. I mean, come on. Dameon Pierce's workload has been increasing each week. I mean, he had a little bit of a dip in terms of carries in week number 4. But look at that. 11, 15, 20, 14, 26 carries in week number 5. 99 yards. A touchdown in every single one of his last 3 games. Dameon Pierce has arrived, and he's violent. He runs so violent. He's only going to get better, stronger. The offense is moving the football a little bit. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was a pretty good victory. And while the touchdowns seem a little limited because the team's only scoring 13 points or they're having trouble moving the football, if touchdowns are scored, it seems to be there's a good chance that this guy Dameon Pierce will be scoring them. I would say he's a pretty decent lock for 100 total yards and about a 70% chance of a touchdown every single game he plays going forward. He's a low-end running back 1. He's not a high-end running back 2. He's not a running back 2 at all. He's a low-end running back 1. Say goodbye to buy low season on Breece Hall and Dameon Pierce because if you could have got him cheap, now you can't. Kenny Walker only ran the ball 8 times in this game, but he had 88 yards. That's 11 yards per carry, 1 TD. Looked electric in open field like he normally does. He's an open space monster. He's a space navigator. You want to talk about a moon man? This guy operates in space, open space that is. And if he finds an open lane or a compartment on the field that's more open than another, he knows how to navigate and find it. And you'll see that more and more now that he's the starter. If you didn't hear, Rashad Penny suffered a fractured tibia in week number 5, and he is out indefinitely. That would be this part of the leg right here. We don't know at what point he fractured it, whether it was down a little further or mid-range area of the leg. But that is a season ender. That is a very, very rough injury. To fracture your tibia, you were going to be out a while. Not to mention, you're probably not coming back to a starting job. We don't know how his career shakes out from here. We wish him well. Prayers up. No one's celebrating injury. So I want to make that perfectly clear before we go into like amped up mode for Kenny Walker because I'm going to get amped up in a minute. I'm letting you know right now. But that is not in celebration of injury. We wish him well. Prayers up. We do hope he finds his way back to another starting situation somewhere, but he has trouble staying healthy. We knew this was going to happen, and now it is time to let everyone know that it is Kenneth Walker season.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Kenny Walker season is upon us. This man is now the starting running back for the Seattle Seahawks, and they plan to run him a ton. We saw what Penny did the week prior with the 2 touchdowns, the 150 whatever yards. To be exact, it was 17 carries for 151 and 2 TDs the week prior. Penny dropped that big of a week, and it was all Kenny Walker's production. Like, if Kenny Walker was just in there, he'd have the 17 carries for probably 180 and the 2 touchdowns. Kenny Walker is a monster. He is now the starter. His big play ability will keep him on the field. His ability to find open space, like I told you, is unmatched in the NFL. He really does have that Alvin Kamara ability to find open rushing lanes and running lanes around the field, to cut back, to get himself in a position to get an extra 15, 20 yards when maybe another running back might run right into trouble. This guy knows how to navigate and wiggle out and get into an open tunnel. Even if it's diagonal down the field, you will see that evidence of that going forward. When open space is near him, he's like a magnet toward it. He loves space. He loves space.
To the moon.
He's probably going to the moon. This guy loves space. And while I'm a little bit more skeptical to call out top 6 to 10 running back numbers going forward, because it's Pete Carroll, we don't know if there'll be some sort of divide. I don't think there will be, but there could be. And the offense has some limitations. And Geno is literally not answering the letter that people wrote when they wrote him off. That is a funny story. It's a great little saying, but it's true. Like, Geno is not letting go of that. He's completely proving everybody wrong. Geno's moving the football down the field, and if you're a Kenny Walker owner right now, the most important thing to you is the offense. What's the offense look like? Assuming he's getting all the work, what does the offense look like? The offense is running the ball. The offense is throwing the football, stretching the field. 268 and 3 TDs for Geno Smith in week number 5. Tyler Lockett, 104 and 2 TDs. DK Metcalf, 88 and a touch. He would have had another very long touchdown and been well over 100 yards and 2 TDs, so DK Metcalf got kind of robbed. But I'm telling you right here and right now, Kenneth Walker season is upon us. And anybody that gave up on this guy and cut him, you weren't listening during the offseason when I said over and over,
It's probably going to take until week 5 or week 6. Don't be impatient.
And some of you said,
Smitty, I don't think it's going to happen. Should I cut Kenneth Walker?
The answer has always been no. You don't cut a player that I said from the beginning of the offseason, from draft day, from before draft day, but from draft day specifically, when we said, okay, in his current situation in Seattle, with Penny being re-signed on a 1-year deal, would maybe there be a potential scenario where Kenny Walker doesn't get unleashed until weeks 2, 3, 4, 5. The hernia made it to where we're definitely waiting for week 5, week 6, week 4. And because he hit the field early in week 2 and everybody goes, oh, maybe Kenny Walker's season is going to be earlier, and he didn't do anything, people got impatient. Knee-jerk reacting took place, and then a wave of people started cutting Kenny Walker. He might be on waivers in your league. You might want to check. Get ready for at least super high-end running back 2 numbers. Get ready to have him in your lineup on a weekly basis. Get ready for a space monster, a space navigating monster to be navigating the spaces near you. Go forward weeks number 6 through 17. With his ability to pull in passes, which a lot of people think, oh, he doesn't catch footballs. They didn't use him in college, Smitty.
Smitty, this guy doesn't catch footballs.
Just get ready. Get ready. If you're a doubter of Kenneth Walker, if you think he can't catch the football, if you don't think every attribute he has for being great in open space, being able to gravitate toward an open plane, being able to make people miss, having good hands proven at the combine, if you think those things don't spell out that he's going to be a good PPR back, an underrated PPR back, much like Zeke Elliott was coming out of college, because he wasn't utilized as a PPR back, he can't be a PPR guy, right, Smitty?
Kenny Walker wasn't used in college pulling in football, so he's not going to be good, right?
No. Every single one of his attributes tells a story that he will be a PPR monster. He can be a PPR monster. And he had 2 catches in week 2, 3 catches in week 3. The guy can catch the football. He proved it at the combine. And we're about to see him become a near lock for 100 total yards every game that he plays. Probably the same probability of a touchdown as a Dameon Pierce. There is very much a running back 1 potential player sitting right here in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 3 monsters sitting right in front of you. They were sleeping giants. They've all been awoken. They're all hungry. And all 3 are coming for running back one numbers in 2022 go forward. Taysom Hill, we talked about this strategy, going rogue at tight end, meaning you had a Waller, you had a Mark Andrews, you had some kind of good tight end situation going on, but you wanted to trade out of it to get another wide receiver. You're thin at wide receiver, you're thin at running back, you're thin at quarterback, you got Andrews, you got Waller, you got somebody like Higbee popping off, but guess what? Taysom Hill's sitting on waivers. We talked about it all week, especially last night, that if Taysom Hill was available on waivers, you needed to grab him because going rogue at tight end and starting Taysom Hill was a recipe for having that insane breakout player in your lineup while upgrading another part of your team. Taysom Hill is no longer rogue. Taysom Hill is regular. A regular starter in your fantasy football lineup. And take a look at his numbers right here. These are phenomenal numbers. These are absolutely insane. He had 4 touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, 3 running touchdowns, 112 rushing yards, 22 passing yards, 34.3 points in this particular league. And the crazy part is that not only will he play running back, not only will he play wide receiver, they're back to using him as quarterback. And you can't take away that eligibility because he's not fully the quarterback. He is a tight end still. And who knows, ESPN might rip that from him and make him force him into a running back role, which I'm going to lose my mind if they do that. But this guy's a secret weapon tight end. If you picked him up, like we talked about all night long last night and all week long and all offseason long, when I said this is the best secret weapon tight end in best ball at Underdog, promo code Smitty, they'll match up to $100 in your first deposit, where you drafted this man as your tight end 3 in assumption that he would get into the lineup at some point and play quarterback and running back and wide receiver from your tight end spot. And in best ball, you don't have to determine when to start him. It's optimal lineup. This guy, Taysom Hill, is a secret weapon monster. That's why he's on this list. He's a monster too. He's every bit of a monster as these 3 guys right here because Taysom Hill is now a top 5 tight end. And the key to your comfort right now is that he did so well. He did so well. If he didn't have such a big game, like he had a touchdown and 100 yards or something like that on the ground, maybe the team would overlook it. Maybe the situation wouldn't feel like hey, maybe we should do this every game. This is such a big performance and such a big outing for the Saints in general. They're going to know what they need to do moving forward. No matter what happens, when Winston returns, if he returns, whatever, they're still realizing this is the formula we need. Teams cannot stop this. And so you know that this isn't one of those 1 week wonders. He did good a couple weeks ago, did nothing the next week, and people cut him. Shame on you. Those of us that started him this week, let alone picked him up, but those of us that started him this week, got him. We got everybody. We got them all. We pulled one over on our leagues. Continue to ball out, Taysom Hill. You're doing great, young man. You're Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Again, guys, get on over to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Start your season over again. There's a resurrection draft. It's called week 6 through 17, where you get to start over and use everything you know now to draft for week 6 through 17 only. And it's awesome. Best ball's awesome. Optimal lineups. Underdog will match up to $100 of your first deposit. You deposit 50, they'll give you 50. You deposit 100, they'll give you 100. Go play. Link in description. Use promo code Smitty. And get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com for your one-on-one text advice, your bold predictions, your trade calculators. I have a one-on-one text advice text line where you can text me on demand with questions and I'll help you out all season long so I can help you dominate, help you get the Taysom Hills before someone else does in your league. Congrats to every single one of you that have shares of these gentlemen right here, these monsters, these awoken giants.
Now get out of here.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.